All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the panel are the Drake Bulldogs at the far end of the table. Allow me to introduce sophomore Becca Hittner. Moving down this way, I'll also introduce junior Sammy Backroat, and then seated immediately next to me is head coach Jenny Baranchik. We will begin with questions, please, for our student athletes. Cease.
Robert Cessna, the Bryan College Station Eagle. Sammy, since you've got 3 more three-pointers than her, can you talk a little bit about your offense? How's your three-point offense and shooting maybe different than other teams?
Yeah, we do shoot a lot of threes. It's fun. We open it up. We're inside-out type of team. I think a lot of teams don't give us enough credit in the paint because we do score a lot in the paint. But, yeah, we're inside-out, very versatile, and it's really fun to play.
Dave.
Sammy, can you talk also about assists? You guys lead the nation in assists. Obviously, this is something you guys take a lot of pride in too.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's a very fun style of play. We're always setting each other up. We have pretty good chemistry, so we know where each other are at in the court, and it's just a well-oiled machine, I feel like, out there, and always looking for the setup and the setup to the setup. So assists are definitely our thing.
Cease.
Becca, 6'5", Kylie Hillsman inside for them, along with, and I know you two are guards, along with Anriel Howard at jumping jack. 6'5", have you faced that kind of size, and how are you going to combat that? Sammy talked about the inside-out approach.
Yeah, I think just using what we're good at. I think we are very good at going inside out, and you know, we can go inside, they collapse, we can kick it back out. I think we have many options with our offense, so just using that to our advantage.
Becca, can you talk about, you guys are coming off of 18 straight conference wins, you're coming off a conference championship. Can you talk about the importance of momentum once you get to this time of year?
I think we're playing our best basketball right now, and I think that's where you want to be. I think, you know, our team chemistry has really progressed over conference season, and, you know, we love playing basketball. We love playing basketball together, and I think that's just going to be essential playing here in March.
For Sammy first and Becca, I read some of you guys' quotes on different outlets about your second time here last year, what you learned at the NCAA tournament. Now that you're here, getting ready, what do you feel will be different in this time around as opposed to last year?
Yeah, I think we learned a lot. I think we're a little more composed than we were last year. We're just taking it day by day, and like we're just focusing on practice today. We're about to go out and shoot and practice again, and that's our main focus, and so we're not trying to make things bigger than they are. So I'd say that, just taking it smaller than we did last year.
Yeah, I think just staying more steady this year will be important. I think we know what to expect coming into the NCAA tournament, and so I think just riding that wave, I guess.
Anything more for student athletes? In the back.
Matt Trent, NBC College Station. This is for Sammy and Becca. Not a lot of people in Texas or probably across the women's college basketball landscape know a lot about Drake, the university, but more so the Drake, the rapper. If you could describe this upcoming game with A&M with a Drake lyric or song title, what would it be?
God's plan.
You might have asked the wrong two on our team that question.
Oh, man. She's good at it. You got me.
I'm drawing a blank.
Good question.
That is a good question. I don't know.
Don't think Coach can answer that either.
Yeah, let's not, yeah.
Anything further? All right, ladies, thank you.
Thank you.
Someone saw
It's
that
a little
coming.
bigger in Texas, I think, right?
Questions for Coach Baranchik, please. Cease.
Coach, a lot of times you get in these NCAA matchups, it's style. How do you match up against style, and how do you feel your style versus their style, and how that's going to match up tomorrow?
Well, I know it matters. I mean, Texas A&M is good. They're a very, very good basketball team, obviously, and this is a road game for us. I mean, they're a much higher seed. They've got great, great talent, and I think for us, the only thing that we can do is continue to do and be who we are, and that's it. And it's got to be enough. Whether you win or lose the game, we just have to be who we are, and it's got to be enough. And so in terms of style, we don't have a 6'5" player that can match up with a 6'5" player. We don't have that, and so we can't try to do that. We've got to just be who we are. We've got to share the basketball. We've got to continue to do that. We've got to have a lot of movement on the offensive end. And then we've got to do whatever we can to try to slow them down a little bit.
In the back.
Coach, have you done anything coming up to this game to kind of replicate A&M's speed? I'm sure the Valley Conference is not as fast or as quick as the SEC. Have you done anything, or have you looked at past games this year to try and replicate the speed of A&M?
Well, we'll find out, and in terms of our rebounding numbers, tomorrow in the game, right? I think you really tried to do that, but when I have to step in on our practice squad, I can't warm up long enough to be able to replicate that speed, and so I don't know if you really can, but what you can do is you try to just make it a little bit smaller, and you try to make it a little bit more controlled. And at the same time, I feel like we've faced some teams that are pretty good in our non-conference schedule. We always have a really good non-conference schedule. And then you try to just slow it down, and you try to really more focus on what we do have. If we go in trying to figure out what we don't have, there's a lot of things we don't have, but there's a lot of things that we do have, and that's really where our focus needs to remain.
Dave.
David Campbell with the Associated Press. Coach, talk a little bit about the assist totals. You have such great assist totals, and that seems like that has to be a total team effort. Can you talk about the philosophy you put into that?
Well, it is part of our philosophy. We want to be able to have, 5 players on the floor at all times that are willing to score and looking to score. So if you have 5 people that can score, then you've got to be able to set each other up with a pass. We don't have a lot of players that are going to just be able to go one-on-one. We don't have a Kennedy Carter on our team, right? And so how do you do it? You try to do it with a pass. And so when you do have 5 people on the floor at all times that can score, then it really becomes more important about how you set each other up, and even more important than that, like they talked about, the setup to the setup. And so we do try to set a lot of things up through our passing, and when you can just be able to shoot the ball. And we're a Midwest team, we're Midwest recruits that are very fundamental, and so we've got to be able to take that to our advantage.
Cease.
What about that matchup with Carter? Do you feel that you have to take that away first, or you're more worried about the inside game, or just talk about Carter being National Freshman of the Year? Hard not to talk about her once in a while.
Oh, she's incredible. She's incredible. And I actually had the chance to go to the USA basketball tryout last year and as a court coach, and so I knew before we got to this point how good she was, and she's had a phenomenal freshman year. So in terms of, do we have an answer to stop her? Probably not. You don't. I mean, there aren't many teams that have even come close to doing that. She's an incredible player. So what we have to do, again, is be able to just focus on ourselves and being able to do everything team-oriented. So going back to the first question, that's what we've done all year. That's the whole thing that we've done all year, is we know we have to have 5 people that can defend, and we have to have 5 people that can get the ball in the hole. And so if you can do those 2 things, well, then you give yourself more of a chance. But you don't. If we make it a one-on-one game and a matchup game, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
In the back.
Coach, as efficient as you guys are from behind the arc, does that make you better at defending a shooter like Danny Williams, knowing her tendencies and where she likes to get the ball?
Well, she's got a really quick trigger. I mean, she's a good shooter, so you have to be able to pay attention to her. I don't know if it has anything to do with whether or not we can put the ball in the hole, but you do have to know that she's going to be a great shooter, and that's something that, we zone. And so you've got to be able to make sure that you know where she's at all the time. I think our efficiency can come in terms of being able to hopefully get some spacing on the offensive end, because we do have a lot of players that are willing and capable of shooting the 3. So hopefully then your spacing kind of starts to take care of itself as well. And if we can have good ball movement, then you're going to get a higher percentage shot.